All right, guys, and we are live from beautiful Green Bay, Wisconsin at the ONEIDA Casino and Hotel. This is Sean Denny in the booth. Joining me will be Stephen Wyatt. Stephen, you there, man?
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you, man?
Man, I'm super stoked. I'm actually a huge fan of Kate Wesolowska, and I'm pretty stoked to see her play. It'll be her and Loree John Brown here at the WPBA Women's World 8-Ball Championship. So I'm stoked for it, and we're just about to get underway. Sean, you've been there for a couple days. What a setup this is here at the Oneida Hotel and Casino.
Absolutely, man. There's been a lot of work that went into this event, a lot of organizing, a lot of manpower. I could tell you just on the production side, not to toot our own horn, but we put in two 16-hour days, and we were still working yesterday before play started. Had a couple small things to button up. Made some minor adjustments here and there as far as cameras go, but I mean, from table setup to arena setup to production set, I mean, it's just been a lot of manpower, a lot of hours, and it's been worth it, man. It's been a great event so far. I'm excited to see all the stellar play that we're going to. And speaking of, we've got Katarina Wesolowska to break in the first rack.
Yeah, and I'm stoked to see this. Guys, if you're just jumping in, make sure you share the stream to your social media channels and get it out there. Should be a really good match. And yeah, I think my favorite thing, Sean, so far as we see Kate breaking off here is just how good the WPBA has done at taking the feedback that fans are giving and saying, okay, we need to change this. And it's a little things like the balls. We were having some trouble with the Aramith Blacks. They're a great ball set. It's my favorite one to play with.
Yeah, they're
But
they're perfect for players. It's just for production, it makes it a little bit hard.
yeah, a little tough, especially when you're playing 8-ball. For rotation, I definitely like the Blacks. But for 8-ball, it's not my favorite one to watch. So WPBA really taking a look at it and saying, hey, fans are having trouble seeing this. Let's change it. And that's a huge deal because you don't see that happen. Um, so I'm super stoked to see the balls change, and I'm really excited to get another match going. If I'm correct, this is a B-side matchup.
It is. So the entire rest of the day will be B-side matchups. The A side won't play again until tomorrow.
Perfect. And we've got several big matches going around the room.
Yeah, there are still some matches from round two finishing up. I know Christina's Lateva, I believe she's still playing her round two match.
Yeah, she's up 6-1 against Kennedy Mayman.
Yeah,
And then looks like Pia Filler and Caroline Power in a pretty nasty match there. It's 5-3 with Pia having the advantage.
yeah. The players are definitely having to adjust a little bit to the conditions of the table and the room and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, these brand new Olhausen 9-footers, they play really well. They do play different than a lot of other tables that people normally play on, but they do play really well. They roll good. They have I believe it's a 26-point precision leveling system,
Oh,
which
wow.
is a lot. And I saw the crew for Olhausen. They came in and leveled and re-leveled each table 3 or 4 times just to make sure that it was perfect. So nobody can say that the people working this event didn't put the effort in. I promise you that.
Well, I gotta say, I think one of my favorite things about these tables is just how flush the pockets are. Any other table, and I have nothing bad to say about any table company. I know it takes a lot to put out a good table because us pool fans, we're picky, right?
Right.
Um, but there's some times where I feel like when I'm bridging and I'm near a pocket, I'm having to contend with the pocket, and I really like this design because everything is flush and flat.
Yeah.
Like there's no lips, nothing that's going to change the angle of my cueing. I haven't got a chance to play on it, but I know you have, and I'd be anxious to hear what you have to say about as far as those pocket designs because I feel like they are really um, player thought of. Like they really thought of, hey, as a pool player, what annoys me? Well, I don't like it when I have to bridge over a pocket. Okay, well, let's make them as flat as possible. And I
Yeah,
feel like that's
so
kind of what they did.
the pockets themselves, so the back part of the pocket is completely flush with the table. The only part that's a little bit raised is right around where the felt meets the pocket, and that's
Gotcha.
understandable. That almost has to happen. You almost can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But as far as everything else, I mean, she really needs this 8 ball to go. I think we're gonna see a short stick come out.
Yeah.
Um, as far as everything else, I mean, the rails aren't as springy. Like I was saying, they don't have as much jump to them as other tables, but that can be a good thing or a bad thing. It just kind of depends on your play style. If you're somebody that doesn't really care to use rails and you don't want to be sending the cube all the way around the table all the time, it's actually a really good thing for you. But
And
if
here we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This is a big one.
what a shot.
Oh, wow. Kate Vesolowska takes down game number one with a absolutely phenomenal jump shot. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a big one,
that was a nice way to cap off a break and run there, wasn't it?
right? Obviously, she'd have preferred to have been straight in, but, you know, get it how you can get it, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And
Now
we've got,
we'll get to see Loree John come to the table after the referee does his job and gets the rack all situated.
and you see there, Pia Filler, Caroline Powell still battling it out, and it's been a long one. That's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, so the table that they're playing on, the match before ran over a little bit, and so that's a little bit of the reason why they're behind.
Oh
So
yeah, because they got started a little bit later, didn't they?
yeah, so the two featured tables are the only two tables that are running a shot clock. However, we have 5 referees here, and if a match is starting to run late, they will put that table on a shot clock, depending on where they're at in the match, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. That's a good call there. And here we go. Lori John looking for a nice control break. Our cue ball gets away a little bit, but she's gonna make a ball. And just seen, I've just got all the matches up on my second monitor here, Sean, and kind of keeping an eye on matches. And this is an interesting one. It looks like table eight just got started just a few minutes ago.
Yep.
And Joanne Parker is already up 1-0 on Natalie Chabot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, table
And
eight's absolutely the farthest table away from me. And I've got a big 75-inch TV in front of me, so it's kind of hard to see over it. But both those players are sporty. I mean, they can both make good outs, good shots.
yeah, it seems like just looking at the flags that are on display, we have a ton of different countries being represented here, but it looks like
29 in total.
that's insane out of 64 players.
Yep.
Um, but this seems like the round of Canada because Natalie Chabot playing on table eight, and then table two, which is our second feature table, is actually Joanne Ashton and Sean. Help me out with this one. Is it Veronica Menard?
It's Veronique Menard.
Gotcha. So all three of those ladies are Canadian and are currently playing in this round. We also have another one that's running a little late, and it's Weiwei playing Tram Win Bick. I hope I didn't butcher that. Sorry, guys, if I did.
All right, nice shot there by Loree John. She's got a couple different options. She can go ahead and take care of the 13 or the 14. Both of them are kind of troublesome. Maybe the 14 doesn't pass the 7. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but the 13 is one of those balls that's kind of hard to fall on no matter what, so I think she might just draw straight back here and try and get in the exact same spot.
Yeah, for me, it looks like the 14 does go, and it looks like it goes pretty easily.
Yep.
Camera's making it a little bit tough to tell for sure, but I like your idea here. Just draw straight back.
Now she's going to play off the 9 for the 13. Just got to be careful. You don't want to overdo it on the 9. So you got to play position for the 12 in that side pocket.
Yeah, I didn't like playing the 12 ball last, but again, I'm not at the table. I'm in no position to tell any of these ladies what they should or should not be shooting.
She's hit that ball well.
Yeah, she's got a good angle on it. A bad angle on this ball could have made this out very, very tough.
Absolutely.
And she's still got to hit this one good because she wants an angle where she can just drift towards the direction she's shooting the 12, but not too far to the left. She's hitting this with some power. Oh, it looked like she was. Oh, wow. It looked like she had a little bit of a twist in her wrist there, and as she was using her pre-shot routine, it looked like she was going to power it. And then all of a sudden, she came with a nice smooth stroke. But I think something happened there, Sean. I think something maybe maybe in the preparation for hitting that shot, I'm thinking something didn't quite work out the way she wanted it to.
Yeah, we're not in her mind per se, but judging by her body language whenever she was warming up for the shot, it seemed like she was going to really put some oomph into it. And then at the last second, it almost seemed like she changed her mind.
Yeah.
All right, she's come up a little bit short. She definitely wanted the cue ball to be all the way up on that end rail. She didn't want Loree John to be able to cue over the entire ball. But I think she's going to be okay. She hasn't left any shots. The 12 definitely doesn't pass the 5. I've got a good vantage point from up here in the booth on that.
What's she looking at here?
The 12 does have a banking lane.
Is she trying to put the cue ball behind the 13?
She could be. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she might have gotten it. What a shot.
Yeah. Katarina's tapped the table saying, wow, amazing shot.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, as she was starting to cue that up, I'm thinking in my head right before I said it, I said, there's no way she's trying this shot. It's so difficult to pull off, but she made it look easy.
Yeah, Loree John's gotten a little unfortunate that her strike ball, the 12, has come up where it has right in front of the 5. It's makes it a little bit tougher to make it. Katarina there with a good kick. Loree John can't. I don't think she can see either one of her balls. She can maybe kick underneath the 13, but that angle might not even be there.
Yeah, well, Loree John, I'm sure just excited to be back at the table with an opportunity, but she's going to need to do something pretty good here.
All right, she replaced one ball for another. And the shot before when Katarina had to kick, she actually ended up coming out really well with it because now the 2 is right there next to the 5, and it makes position on the 5 a little bit easier. All right, she's played position for the 4.
Yeah, I like the way she's playing this. It looks like she's just going to draw back for the 7.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
what she's
play.
looking
I
at
think she
right now.
got pretty straight in on the 4. Probably a little bit straighter than she wanted to, but I think she'll be just fine. You can see the
And if she,
intensity as she gets down on the shot too.
yeah, I've seen her play one other time, and I was pretty impressed. And she's one of those players that not many people are going to know exactly who she is, but I think we'll see a lot of her in the near future.
Yeah, I think on this shot, I think she's just going to roll forward about 2 full rotations past. Oh no, she went further. Oh, she's playing for the 3 next. Okay.
Yeah, get that 3 out of there and then come back because realistically, there's only a couple ways you can get on this 2 ball where you won't have a shot on the 5.
Right.
So I
Take
don't
care.
mind this.
Take care of the balls up table and then come back down where the balls next to the 8 are.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all.
I think she's got real good on this. She's got a little bit of angle. She can kind of just float the 2 ball in. Or she can kind of power over and run into the 12. The problem is if you catch the 12 on the wrong side, you're not gonna like the end result. She's just gonna play a little simple draw kill shot.
And I'll be honest here. I think in this situation, I'm just trying to make the ball and just let my cue ball punch off that 13. Yeah, just like that. Not too many bad things that can happen here. And the 8 ball does go in the side pocket pretty easily.
All right, this to go up 2-0. And she cinched it. Perfect.
And
I will let everybody know that we are not responsible for the ones keeping score. The players have a tablet down there. They just sometimes it's a little hit or miss. So even though the scoreboard reflects 0-0, we are keeping track. We're just not changing it.
yeah, and you can actually see it on that top rail up there, the tablet sitting there. And generally, if the players don't adjust it, the referee will go do it. But however, and we're not telling them they have to. We know what the score is, and we'll keep you guys updated. And meanwhile, talking about the scores, way on the hill against Tram, Pia Filler and Caroline Powell, very tight match over on table 6. It is 5-4 there. And saw somebody asking about table number 7. It looks like Adriana Villar is up 2-0 over Stephanie Mitchell. And Veronique Menard up 1-0 against her fellow countryman.
Looks like they're having a little bit of trouble with the tablet.
And I'm sure they'll get it worked out. There it is.
All right. We are back in business.
And we just had a match start. It's starting a little bit late. That's okay. It's Chihiro Kawahara and Ashley Rice over on table 4 just getting started. It looks like all of our 2 p.m. matches have began. And we've got matches scheduled all the way till what tonight, Sean? I think 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. It's this is the longest day of the event.
That's awesome. I mean, this is where things start to get a little interesting, right?
Yeah, what a break.
Yeah, the ball in the side pocket. You don't want the 14 to match up. Okay, you got plenty of angle here. So, man, I think either one looks good. I think for me, I'm gonna take the stripes because I feel like I can get to that top ball pretty easily.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I mean, solids don't look terrible. I will say the easier opening shot is definitely on solids, but if you can bear down and pocket the 12 ball, I think stripes really are the play.
And you don't have to do anything too crazy because you can use the 9 ball to get up table for the 10. And realistically, if you make that 12, the 9 ball is going to be your next shot anyways. But again, whatever she goes for is probably the right decision for her. And I like the opening shot. It's a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about missing it or missing shape. And she should be off to the races here.
Yeah,
My biggest,
I'm kind of curious if she's going to leave the 3 as her out ball to lead to the 8. I kind of like that idea because I do
and my
believe the 2 plays by the 4.
my biggest question is going to be the 1 ball and where does that play into this connection? It's not a difficult shot, but it is one that you have to take care of at some point and make sure that it connects well to your next shots. And I think that's why she's taking it now.
I don't know. I think she's looking at taking the 2, maybe, but I think the 1 is the play, and that's what she's looking at now. Oh, maybe she is looking at taking the 2. If she takes the 2 here, that tells me that that 2 ball doesn't pass by the 4. If she does take the 1 and doesn't float back up into a similar position that she is, then the 2 definitely goes by the 4. But I think she's coming back right about where she is now. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what she was looking at. She was trying to see, okay, the 2 ball goes from here. Where can I get it? Okay, let's make the 1 and set up. And I like that shot. Very well thought out play there.
Yeah, I think at this point the trickiest part of the rack is when do you want to go down and pocket the 7 ball? And she's using a high ball here, so she might be thinking about doing it right now.
That's a good call, and I think that's what I like as well.
Yep. I think she wanted to be a little bit more forward, not as much angle, but I think she's going to be okay. If she doesn't like it, she can always shoot the 2 ball right now. She has the full cue ball to cue under, and then she could draw back off of it. It is a longer and tougher shot, but it is makeable. It's just a matter of whether or not she thinks she can keep her cue ball under control off of the 7 ball. I think if you put a little bit of outside and widen the angle that it's coming off the rail, I think you're good. Just like that.
On the speed was,
Talk about pocket speed.
oh, speed was really well there. Kate Wesolowska playing very, very well. And we've seen a lot of these ladies playing really good. And it's because this is a world championship title.
Absolutely. It is an invite-only tournament. And there are very few players that received an invite that are not here. I know of one in particular, and it was due to a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, and I think that one particular person is one of those that a lot of fans were asking about. And unfortunately, the schedules just didn't line up. But yeah, I mean, one of these ladies is going to become a world champion this weekend.
Yeah, the very first ever women's World 8-ball champion. How about that for a title? The first one to ever do it.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
All right, so I think she's okay here. I think she can actually draw down into the 9 and use that to stop her. Oh no, she just took a little bit more of a cut. That's perfectly fine. She hasn't given us any reason to think she can't make this. She's pocketed almost every ball that she shot at. Beautiful break and run there by Katarina Wesolowska. Right there, you see some more scores from around the room. Pia and Caroline Powell still locked in at 5-4.
That must be an absolute battle over there.
Yeah, Pia's at the table right now. She's kind of examining what her options are. I got to watch a little bit of it earlier, and it was the one rack that I did watch definitely did turn into a safety battle. I think Pia came out on top on that one, but Caroline is definitely a capable player. She's giving Pia Filler, who everybody knows, a run for her money right now.
And I gotta say, obviously you're there, and it's a pretty magnificent venue. But I gotta ask you, can you give us the rundown on our sponsors real quick? Because obviously these streams don't happen for free without the viewers and the sponsors. So I just want to make sure that we give them their due credit. Obviously, I know the Oneida Casino and Hotel is a huge sponsor for this event, as well as Peach Hour Q's and Olhausen and Teom. But what else you got for me, Sean?
Well, let me see here.
I know there's a lot of support there.
Yeah, they're a lot, a lot of support. We've got Game On Sportswear, who's the official partner of the WPBA.
I know Schuler Bauer Real Estate Company, um, big part in that. If you're ever looking to sell or buy, you definitely need to check that out. SchulerBauer.com.
We've also got Fort Worth Billiard Supply. Fort Worth Billiard Supply is deeply committed to growing the sport of billiards both locally and nationally. They're proud to sponsor multiple junior and professional players, pool halls, and events that support the future of the game. They believe in supporting the next generation of players while preserving the sport's legacy. You can check them out on Instagram at FW Billiards, Facebook at Fort Worth Billiards, and their website is billiardsuperstore.com.
I got to tell you, living close to Fort Worth, Albert, the amount of things that he does for pool locally and nationally is really incredible. So shout out to Fort Worth Billiards. Really, really good stuff there.
Yeah, Loree John, I haven't really seen the layout on this table yet. I was combing through my sponsorship notes. When I tell you there are a lot of them, there are definitely a lot of them, and we can't say enough good about every single one of them who have helped put this event together.
Yeah, it takes a village, and for an event like this, it takes multiple villages. Um, and it's really come together pretty well. I'm a little jealous that I'm not there in Green Bay.
Yeah,
But
I believe you. We were talking about it during Shane and Feder. I understand. If you
but I
only
am
lived in Kentucky, man.
but I am very stoked to be able to have the honor and the privilege to call these matches here on this feature table, where we will crown that world champion on Sunday. So
And how about streaming a world championship on Amazon Prime? I mean, that's in my opinion, it's super cool to be able to produce and commentate for such a big platform. I mean,
yeah, and not only that, but we're also on Billiard TV, and this will live on forever on YouTube,
yes, sir.
which is it's kind of crazy to think about that. I mean, we've known each other for a couple of years now, and we both know kind of where we started and how things went. And I gotta say, man, that this journey's been incredible, and I'm very excited to be able to add the WPBA to my list of prestigious companies that I've been honored to work for.
Absolutely, man. It's always good working with the WPBA and the WPA. This is a WPA sanctioned world championship, so it does hold weight. It was actually really cool. The WPA, obviously, they had a representative here, but it was at the opening ceremony. They kind of talked about how prestigious of an event this is, and it was almost like an Olympic ceremony without a torch. the WPA representative was like, and let the games begin, and it just kind of felt different, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything is going to feel different when you hold an opening ceremony. Listen to this, guys. An opening ceremony for a World Championship pool tournament at Lambeau Field. I mean,
How
it's gotta be big if you're doing it at Lambeau Field.
yeah, how much better does it get, right?
Yeah, it's insane. I
All
don't want
right,
to.
Loree John with a really good opportunity here to get on the board. Just needs to make one more good positional shot. Steven, do you like trying to go above the 9, trying to find that window in between the 9 and the 14 where she's looking at right now?
Yeah, I think so because I think the natural path is going to take you around. In fact, I believe the natural path will run you into the 14. So I don't think you have to do a whole lot.
Yeah,
Just
it
get your speed right.
doesn't look like she's introducing a whole lot of English to it. It looked like she was cueing on its center ball.
Well, now she's drawing into it, so she's going to try and yank this ball, which I think is a little risky, but again, I'm not the one playing.
Yeah, she's gonna have a
Ooh,
tough shot here. I think me personally, I think I would have gone 2 rails, but there was something about it that she didn't like. I think it was the fact that she knew she was gonna have to find that window. This bank is on though. It does go.
well,
If
if
she
there's
wants to
anybody that knows anything about banks, it's you.
maybe just a little bit. Don't
I
knock
haven't
my
seen her
action.
nominate a pocket.
I think she's cutting it, which is the standard shot.
I don't know. I like the bank. Ooh,
Yeah, the cut was always going to be a little bit tougher just because, I mean, you're hitting it so thin. If you would have been maybe another 4 inches over to the left, you would have been okay. It was asking a lot, and it was a very precise shot.
yeah, now Kate's got a really good opportunity to go up 4-0 here. And Lori John, I feel like she just hasn't had a great opportunity to get off the ball, right? So she's she's hitting the ball well. She's made some good shots, but she just keeps getting out of line at the last second.
Yeah, I mean that last inning that she played, the 4 ball, she came up a little bit short on it, and it was kind of unfortunate. She didn't have that much of a window though because of where the 14 ball was, or the 13 ball, excuse me.
Oh no.
She's dropped it.
Oh wow.
Another thing I really do love about the game is even whenever you make a ball that you know you probably shouldn't make, and I think everyone here knows what I'm talking about. The players at this level, they'll acknowledge their opponent and be like, "Hey, sorry, that was just a good roll."
Yeah, you saw it there because Kate knows that maybe she wasn't supposed to make that ball fall.
Right.
It was a little bit off on the aim, and she knew it as soon as she hit it. But acknowledging the fact that that was the case and that she felt like she got a little lucky. You got to be a little lucky in these situations, right?
Absolutely. I mean, nobody, and I'm not knocking any skill here, but I don't think anybody's ever going to win a world championship in anything without a little bit of luck somewhere.
Yeah, whether it's luck of the draw or luck on the table, or maybe you just bought a scratch off that morning and won a big chunk of money. Who knows what the luck factor is, but it's
Right.
definitely there.
I think she wanted to get a little bit more out of that. I don't think she wanted this much angle, but I think she'll be okay. She's going to play this ball 2 rails and try and drag it over, I think. Or she might just play it 1 rail if she can catch it thick enough.
I think she can catch it thick and pull. Yeah, that was a
What a
great shot.
what a nice shot. As soon as I saw her cue in dead center, but really low on the cue ball, I was like, okay, she can yank this ball over 1 rail instead of having to drag it out 2.
And this young lady here is I mean, she's really showing why she deserved to have a spot here. Um, and I'm all for it. She's playing well.
This 8 ball to go up 4-0 on Loree John Brown. Nice out there by Katarina Wesolowska. While the referee's going to rack, we're going to throw some scores up. And we're going to talk to you a little bit more about some more of our sponsors. We've got Aramith billiard balls. You see, yesterday we were using the Aramith Blacks. Today we're using the Aramith Pro Cups, which for streaming purposes, the Pro Cups are my favorite. For playing purposes, the Blacks are by far my favorite. You've also got Simonis cloth and Littman lights, providing all the rest of the playing equipment that we're using. You've got Atlas Billiard Supply and Sinorama, who have helped tremendously with everything else, all the signage going around the event center, the lights above the table, just everything in general. It's been awesome working with all of them. And you've also got Dr. Pool Promotions, Mr. Dean, the president of the WPBA. He does a lot for the sport. Can't thank him enough.
Yeah, and a little bit about Kate here in 2025. She's had a couple of really nice plays here. She won or she took third in a Euro Tour Women's Open event.
That's
Obviously,
a pretty good result.
Yeah, very good result. Obviously, she is from Poland, and there's some really good players, really good Polish players over there. A couple of the males that I follow very, very closely, and I'm sure they know each other well.
It's a surprising dry break there. Are you talking about Konrad Miecko? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
so Mieszko Fortuński and Konrad Musician, both really good Polish players. There's a couple others as well. I mean, um, Poland is really a strong spot. You know, when you think about Victor Zelensky, and then now this young lady here, um, the Polish players are strong.
Yeah, it's definitely a billiards hotspot over in Europe. That's for sure. You see a lot of them coming on the scene, and I think that attests to the federations that are behind them, because if you ever notice, they come in with super sound fundamentals, and that's because they're trained from a really young age. The talent is identified, and then they're drilled and drilled until their fundamentals are great, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and there's so many good players that are coming out of Poland these days, and it's pretty cool to see this young lady add her name to the list, vying for this World 8-Ball Championship.
Excuse me.
You know, we can't really turn down Loree John here. Loree John's been around for a long time, um, and she's been in the forefront of American women's pool for quite a while.
Absolutely. She's been I feel like almost a pioneer for the game of billiards for women, man. I mean, she's done so much for, she's been a part of that group of women that kind of paved the way for women in this particular sport in America.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Oh
let's talk
no.
about this real quick. Oh wow.
She's fallen flat.
Let's talk about this real quick. We talk about titles and achievements for Loree John here.
Let's hear
In
it.
nine in 1981, she was the WPBA World Straight Bull Champion.
It's pretty strong.
You think about it's 2025,
That's 44 years, my man.
and so one, that's a testament to her, but also it's a testament to the WPBA.
I
Been
want.
around for a long time, and she joined the WPBA Hall of Fame in 2008. So she's got a ton of other titles on here that I could list off, but I'm not going to bore you with all that. But yeah, she's been around with the WPBA for a long time, long enough to make it in the Hall of Fame, and she's still competing at a high level. Let's see if she can knock this one ball down.
Oh
Oh,
man,
just shy.
it was a good effort though.
The one thing that does help here is that 13 ball, you're going to have a very specific angle to be able to make that. The combo is not on, and she's going to have her cue ball somewhere between the second and third diamonds on this bottom rail out in the middle of the table just to be able to cut it. And she could always look for a safety route later on.
Yeah, I think depending on how it plays out and the kind of positional play she's able to come with, I think the safety is actually a relatively easy one. I don't,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see any
take care
trouble
of
with it.
these. Yeah, no, take care of these balls at the top. Leave herself the 11 in the side pocket, and then come down table and just tap the 13 out off the rail just enough to where you can make the 9 ball and leave your cue ball behind the 12 and the 8. That's what I'm looking at. You may see something different, but I think that's the simplest way to do it.
I'd say that's a pretty solid way to go about it. I think she's getting up really good here on the 11.
And there may even be a play here where she can play this 13. If she drags straight across the table, with the little bit of angle that she's had, she'll end up with her cue ball close to even with the 8 ball, and she may be able to just cut the 13. Yeah.
That's the play that she's going for, and I think she's gotten well on it.
No, all that talk about the safety, and she's just gonna get the out. This is why we're in
Yeah,
here, Sean.
right.
This is why we're in here. Give credit where credit is due. These ladies, every single one of them, all 64, have earned a spot in this tournament. And they're doing as much as they possibly can to take advantage of it.
Beautiful positional play right there. Didn't leave herself elevated over the 8. She can just play this with a little bit of a high ball, I think. And I think she's got the angle to float up above the 9. She's looking at.
Yeah, I actually think it might be a little bit straight, and I think she may have to draw out of it. I can't really tell from the angle.
Okay.
I think she ended up just a little flat, but she's hit that ball well. She seems as though she might not be as pleased, but I think that's just simply because she knows she could have made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, she really put a good punch stroke on that ball. I just don't think. I think she caught it a little bit thicker than she wanted to, and that's why the ball kind of died a little bit sooner. I think she was trying to kind of cheat the pocket a little bit. The pockets on these tables are WPA regulated 4.5-inch pro cut. She's recovered nicely though, with a pretty straightforward look on this 8.
Yeah, really hit that ball well.
All right, let's see if Loree John utilizes her timeout here if she just plays on through. Sometimes whenever a match is a little bit more on the one-sided side, you'll see players utilize a timeout to kind of step away from the table, focus, and reset. Still not hitting the head ball as full as she would like. I don't particularly, yeah, she's waving it off. She's definitely not trying to cut break it. And this rack seems to be a little clustered. I mean, there's no real good option. It's which option's not as bad. The 10 ball allows you to break out the 11-7. Problem with the stripes is the 15.
Yeah, this is
It's definitely going to be a tough one to navigate, Steven.
yeah. But it's a testament to if she can manage to get out here, which I think she got the angle and she's not really looking at it. I know you don't really want to go up and down the table, but this is a really good angle to pop that 15 out. There's just a lot of work to be done.
Sorry, I stepped away for a second. I was talking to the one and only Pink Dagger for a second. Miss Sophia Mast.
I like it.
I think she really wanted to clip that 7. And actually, I don't know what kind of angle she has. If we could get the overhead real quick. Yeah, I don't know if she can just roll the 9 in. Try and hold for the top side of the 13 to go down into the 11-7 again, but you're still leaving your 15 ball there, and that your only option on that's going to be the 14. She might be doing that now. I don't blame her.
Oh no. Oh, wow. Really trying to hook that ball.
Yeah, honestly, I think she just kind of hit it a little too hard. And the ball didn't have a chance to really hook, if that makes sense. All right, so the referee's going to mark the 15 where it is. He's going to pull the ball, and that's going to allow him easier access to pull the rack.
Yeah, and it's so impressive to see how these referees are able to use their pocket or their table markers and keep the balls in the same spot. You know, that's something that you risk anytime you use a tablet or excuse me, a template. Um, but it's always nice to see these guys play well.
Yeah, I watched a I watched a match last night after all the feature tables were done. There was still a match going on table, I believe it's 5, yeah. And I believe it was, no, it was table 7, Kennedy, Mayman. Is it Mayman or Myman? I'm pretty sure it's Mayman. Um,
I, I've called her Kennedy Mayman for a long time, and if it's not, I greatly apologize to Kelly. Don't hurt me.
don't hurt me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mayman, but in the off chance that it's Myman, I do apologize. But Kennedy broke, and she was using a second ball break. And sometimes when you use a second ball break, the balls will all spread, and then they will come back and cluster in one spot on the table. Sometimes it's on the or on the side long rail. Sometimes it's right back in the middle of the table.
Oh no.
That's unfortunate, being stuck behind the 4.
Yeah, it really is. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was
No,
just a really brutal roll there.
yeah, you're fine. But anyway, long story short, Kennedy broke, and it would have taken 3 referees with 3 different ball markers because all the balls came back onto the template, so they just had to play through it.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because Kennedy and her opponent were just kind of looking at the referee like, "Are you gonna try?" And the referee was like, "Nah."
Well, that's the nice thing is that if the referees look at it and say, I don't know if I can do this and do it correctly, um, they will 100% not try to interfere with the game. They'll let the game play out until they have an opportunity to move the rack, which, in my opinion, is always the correct way to do it.
Absolutely. And it only took 3 or 4 shots before the referee was able.
Oh,
Oh, wow. That was kind of uncharacteristic. She had, if she didn't have the whole pocket, she had 9/10 of the pocket. I was looking almost right down it. She just slightly
yeah.
overcut the ball.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes when we look at those shots, right, and we know that we have plenty of room, but there's still that, sliver. How is it we always hit the sliver?
Right.
I
It's
mean,
like I can cheat the pocket this way. Let's let's try and cheat the pocket the other way. Make it interesting.
right?
All
I think
right.
it's a mental block. There's still a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, and this isn't necessarily a knock, but this is a tough rack to get out of. I think we might see another inning or two. We might end up seeing a little bit of safety play because there's I don't see a real good path to get the breakout on the 7-11.
Yeah, and I think Loree will agree with me here is that she's just lost her cue ball a little bit late in her runs. Um, and we're seeing a little bit of that here. Now, she did make a very good recovery on that one, but I still don't know what she's going to do with the 7 ball. At best, you can get your 7 ball out of the way and hold your cue ball to that 11, but it's going to be a very easy counter safe when she gets there. Loree, a talented player.
She's overcut it a little bit, but honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. The
Yeah, now
only,
that ball is available for a breakout shot, right?
yeah, I mean, you've got the 5 ball there. The only problem is I think she may have left a really good angle to play off this 9 and go down and kind of declutter that corner. But it doesn't even look like Katarina's looking at that option.
So here's the thing. I think the 11 ball goes clean to the right top pocket.
If it does, it's tough.
And with the way she's playing this, it looks like she may be playing for the 13 and then the 9 and then just roll up.
I will say I do think you can make it from the top side, like more on the side of the 7, but you can't
Yeah.
overroll it because then the 7's gonna hook you. So it's a very touchy way to get there, but it's possible.
Oh, and she needed to roll forward a little bit. So that's going to make things tough. And that's why going at it like this was going to be difficult the whole time.
Yeah, and if the one ball wasn't there, I'd say she could zip across 2 rails and try and get underneath it and play it down here in this bottom left corner, but I think the one ball's right in the path of where the cue ball would need to go.
All right. What about this, Sean? This is a little off the wall, but think in the same way. So she needs to get to the left of the 11. What if she zips across behind the 1 and comes 2 rails back across to shape? Close. That's kind of close to what I was talking about. She needed a little bit more zoom to get there.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
curious what she's gonna. I mean,
I think she's got to bank it.
that's the only offensive option. There's nothing else really for her to do.
And even then, you got to be careful with your cue ball.
I think she's looking at playing a defense. She's going to cross over the 11 and bump the 7 ball to the rail and back underneath the 5 and try and leave her cue ball down here on the end rail.
Maybe behind the 8 ball for cover.
Oh, she tried to cut it.
Oh, wow. Well, she's helped Loree John there a little bit, made one of those balls, so gonna make the out a little bit easier. There's still just one issue, is that you can't be on the left or the right side of the table. You need to be on the left.
I'm going to say this. I would have never guessed anybody would have overcut that ball. Ever.
Right. It was already a thin cut.
All right. Great shot there by Loree John.
She's played this one well. Sean, do you float this, or do you kind of stun it with a kill shot and try and get it below the side pocket?
Personally, if the angle's steep, I'm probably gonna float it. If the angle's not very steep, then I'm gonna stun it down, and it looks like I don't know what she's doing.
Playing
She's
with this
queuing
top?
high. She might be going 2 rails.
She might be. I can't fault it if that's what she's gonna do, but she's got to get there.
And
Oh yeah,
she's there. It's not the most straightforward angle, but it's not difficult for a player of her caliber. I'm not gonna say it's not difficult.
well, and I'll tell you what I'm shooting here is I'm drawing this ball to the bottom rail just in case I miss.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's gotta be a 2-way. Now she's playing it with a high ball, so she really needs to bear down and make it. And she's done just that.
Yeah, really good play there by Loree John Brown. Pretty good shot there. Wasn't the easiest of runouts, and that rack was definitely a stamina killing rack, and I think that's why our players are going to take a break. And Sean, can you confirm, are they taking a timeout?
Yeah, Katarina has called her 1 timeout for the match, so she is entitled to a 5-minute break. There are some rules regarding the break that the players get, and they're not. I didn't know this until we got here, but the WPA is pretty strict, as they should be. They're an organization that sanctions major tournaments and world championships. I didn't realize that players aren't allowed to smoke or vape on their break until we got here. That was new to me. But I'll take a minute to tell you guys a little bit about this this Olhausen table. So it's the Olhausen Tournament Pro table. The new Tournament Pro leverages Olhausen's more than 50 years of experience. It's got a highly engineered frame. It's a robust box frame construction for 0 movement. I was a little bit off earlier. It's a 26-point precision leveling system. It's engineered with composite high-density rails, AccuFast cushions, based loosely on Olhausen's Sheridan 3 table design, with standard 4.5-inch WPA pockets. The pockets are flush to the table, which is very nice. You notice in a lot of different tables, different companies that produce tables, the pockets sit above the rail. These are flush to the rail everywhere except for where the cushion meets the pocket. And that's kind of, there's no way around it. But it's a beautiful table. It plays really well. I've got to hit balls on it, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So, and yes, guys, even our referees are entitled to a break when the players take one. There, right in front of you, you see the owner of Olhausen. I believe he was telling me he bought the company. It was either 2 or 3 years ago, and since he bought it, he's been doing nothing but taking in all the advice from all the top level players. He wanted to do everything he could to make a table that was engineered and designed to benefit the players, and I believe he's done just that. All right, Katarina is back from her break. Only took a minute or two. She is breaking, leading the match 5 games to 1. Looking for a little bit of pop off the cue ball and for it to sit right in the middle of the table. She's not hit it as square as her other breaks, but she is going to get a ball to fall. Everything looks to be pretty out in the open. The only there are two sets of balls that are a little tied up. You've got the 8 and the 11, and then you've got the 15 and the 1. There you see the referee pulling the template rack off of the table. I do believe Steven stepped away for just a moment, so y'all get to put up with me until he gets back. I'm trying to think of which option I like best here. I think I do like the stripes. Personally, I do think the 11 ball might go down here in this bottom left-hand corner. If it doesn't, you've got a couple options to break it out. The biggest problem is going to be the 15. And depending on how she gets off this 14, oh, she played the 5.
All right, Sean, and I am back.
Welcome back, Steven.
Players took a little break, so I had to too.
Yeah, I guess you can have one here and there.
Yeah, I usually get paid in Starbucks, but since I'm not on location, unfortunately, I'm being forced to purchase my own.
Yeah, I think after this match, depending on how late it goes, I am definitely going to go get another coffee. We've got 3 more rounds? Yeah, 3 more rounds after this one. So it's going to be a long night, but a fun one at that. We've got a lot of really good matchups coming your way. Excited for the rest of the event.
Yes.
It's only going to get better and go up from here.
Speaking of good matches, um, we are waiting on confirmation on who will play her, but it looks like next up on our feature table, will actually be, excuse me, not next up, but at the 6 p.m. round, Way back in action, possibly against Ilolki Baraklu, who is a player I'm very familiar with, Turkish player residing in the Houston area. So if she can manage to make it past her current opponent, that'll be a great match. And then trying to see here, it looks like our feature match. Oh, wow. This is a good one. Kaylee McIntosh, who went down to Ashley Benoit yesterday, is going to be facing off against Janet Atwell right here at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. That'll be a good match, Sean.
It sure will. I'm kind of curious. Is she trying to cut this ball?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's called it in the left corner.
It must go between the 9 and the 12, or she can just play off the 12. But what's the reward? Unless she has something planned. She was trying to go off the 12 ball, but I don't know if she would have ever had a shot on the 8 ball.
I don't think she would have. I mean, there was no real path for the cue ball to come back up table.
And again, I am just the guy talking about what's going on. I'm sure she had a plan. Positive, she had a plan.
Yeah, the plan was run out. that was, I think that was the only. I think that's the only thing going through her mind. I haven't seen her even really contemplate a defensive shot one time, and I can't say I blame her. She shoots so straight, but I mean, the
Yeah, well,
plan.
the jump shot she made in the very first rack showed that she had no intention of laying up. She had the opportunity to, and she just said, "Nah, I'll jump the 8 ball in and win."
Right. All right, Loree John with a chance to steal a rack here.
Gonna need a good, powerful stroke here. She pulled off a little bit, and it seems like she's done that a couple times, Sean. It looks like she's about to really give the cue ball some juice, and then she just kind of backs off. It's not really deceleration. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Her practice strokes sometimes just look a lot different than the stroke that she actually puts on the cue ball. I don't know if that's by design. I don't know if that's because I know she's had a coach before, so I don't know if that's something that her coach told her was good for her style of stroke. I mean, either way, it's starting to work out for her. She's 2 balls away from making this match 5-2, and she'll be breaking.
can't falter here for the way
Oh
she's played
no.
this other than ending up right in the middle of the table here. Now, this is okay because here's what I'm doing. I'm actually going to cut this to the top left, and I'm just going to drag my cue ball over to the side rail.
See, I play too much one pocket. I'm going to bank the 8-ball back down here in the bottom left-hand corner, bring my cue ball back to the end rail, and leave nothing but a bank, and I'll play it at pocket speed. But that's just me.
And she played that pretty well. It was always going to be, if I don't make this ball, you're not going to have a great shot, no matter what the situation was. So very good play there by Loree John. That's going to take the score line back to just a 3-game lead for Kate. It is now 5-2? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That would be correct.
Perfect. And here we go. We have the scores up. And Veronique Menard over Joanna Ashton. Is it Joanne? Or
Joanne.
Joanna? Joanne Ashton. And Elise Q. We haven't seen her since yesterday, since she went hill with Christina Tkach. She's currently down 4-1 to Olivia Chang. We have Adriana Villar up 6-1 over Stephanie Mitchell. Sarah Miller and Lena Primus are 0-1. And there you go. Ilul Kibaroglu, sorry. And her opponent are just starting. So really still a lot of stuff going on here with the current matches, including this one. We thought it was going to be the Kate show.
It looked like it for a little bit.
Oh, wow. Is she wedged between the 8 and the 11?
I do believe so.
I mean, there's a, let's see here. Oh, wow. I mean, she is wedged. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I think she's got a good shot here on the 14. That's the only shot she has. So if she wants to stay at the table, that's what she's going to go ahead and shoot. I actually do personally like stripes. The only problem you have is the 10 and 2. I do believe the 10 does go. If you can find a way to move the 4 with like maybe the 12. I do believe the 10 does go down here in this bottom right hand corner, but it's asking a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah, the 10 does go. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, I mean you have to move the 4, but I don't see a ball that's really, because the 3 is blocking her from going over to the 10 and 2 right now off this 12. I don't know, she might be sending the 3 into it. Oh wow, I thought the 3 was up a little bit higher.
Yeah, she got a nice bump. And the problem is now she's tree-topped, so it's going to make the next shot a little bit more difficult. I think any way you shoot, she's going to be bridged over a ball, which is a little unfortunate. However, I think the 11 ball is the cleanest shot, and it's also the one that leads to the out.
Really nice shot there. Way to keep her fundamentals in line while she was tree-topped. And there There's
Yeah, that's
no
the. Go ahead.
I was just saying there was nothing different about her stroke. A lot of times whenever players get tree topped, you'll see their arm kind of swing out a little bit or they'll have a little hitch in their stroke. I mean, everything was just fundamentally sound with that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one shot that I can't stand. If I leave myself that, I'm usually beating myself up on the inside about it because it's just a shot that isn't comfortable to shoot at any point in time.
Yeah, it just gets you a little tilted.
Yeah, a little tilted. Oh, might have come up short here. I don't think this ball cuts, does it?
I don't believe it does.
If it does, it's very tight.
I don't think it does.
Ugh.
I mean, we saw her take on an insane cut earlier, but this one, if she tries, she's attempting to cut it.
I'm not so much worried about if it cuts. I'm more worried about the two ball. Yeah, I wasn't too sure that that one was ever going to go.
All right, Loree John with a chance here to make it 5-3. Nice opening shot there.
Yeah, this, oh no.
That's
Oh
unfortunate.
no. And it's the one thing you didn't want to do, and that's kind of what I was about to touch on, is that when you're running this rack out with where that tin ball is, you kind of want to play everything as if you're gonna miss.
Are you talking about like playing
Because
two-way shots?
yeah, I mean, because you just don't want to you don't want to give up an easy uh ball, trying to run out when you have seven on the table and she only has one. You always want to play it as if you're gonna miss the shot to an extent.
Yeah, she tried to drag over there with the bridge to get on the three. Unfortunately, she's ended up pretty much on the rail. I think there's a little bit of gap between the cue ball and the rail, but not much of one. I think this is your best chance, though. This is the time to swing at it. Beautiful shot. Nice recovery.
Well, now what do you do here, Sean? Do you take the one, take your medicine on the seven, and try and leave yourself for the five in the side or in the top right corner?
I mean, honestly, if it's me, because I'm greedy, and I know that about myself, I'm trying to draw this cue ball back to the middle of the table to get some kind of cut on the seven into the side pocket. Because if you have to back cut the seven into the side pocket, you're coming down to the bottom of the table. She just ran into it, but
Yeah, that'll work.
if you would have had to back cut the seven into the side, you could have swung the cue ball around, and you were always going to have a shot on the five, either in the side pocket or up in the top right corner.
Yeah, I like that.
But that's just me. I am greedy. normally gets me in more trouble than it's worth. All right, gonna come straight back out. Oh no, she's gonna stay on that side. I was about to say, it's kind of tough to tell how much of a stroke she's gonna put on it because her practice strokes are the same whether or not she's putting a soft stroke or really going after a ball. I mean, if you look at the way her practice stroke is, her cue actually goes through her fingers. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever really seen somebody do that. Whenever they're bridged on the rail, the cue actually goes all the way behind their fingers.
Yeah, that's a new one for me, but I can't fault it if it's what works for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked for her for 40 years. So,
Yeah, very nice there by Loree John. And she's gonna take the score line to 5-3. And Sean, I'm gonna let you take it away. I'm gonna step away for just about a minute or so.
time to go get the
I will.
Starbucks.
That's what it is. I'll be right back.
All right, man. Talk to you guys real quick about Fort Worth Billiards. They are a company that has been around since 1952. They are more than just billiards, proud to be one of the oldest and most trusted game room retailers in Texas, serving the community since 1952. Known for their unbeatable selection, expert service, and commitment to customer experience. Fort Worth Billiards is deeply committed to growing the sport of billiards both locally and nationally. They proudly sponsor both junior and professional players, pool halls, and events that support the future of the game. You almost can't watch anything without Fort Worth Billiards popping up somewhere. Thank you to them for everything they've done to make this event happen. It is greatly appreciated. And here we go, Katarina Wesolowska back to the table, breaking, leading 5-3. Loree John Brown on a bit of a comeback. Let's see if Katarina can get hot again. She started out with 2 breaking runs. She's looking to get back in form. All right. Good, solid break. Unfortunately, nothing's fallen. Everything's kind of out in the open. There's really no issues. The only issue that I see that could possibly be there is the 4 and 14. Other than that, everything's just kind of there for the taking. If I'm Loree John, personally, the way it's laying out, I think I do prefer stripes, but both of them are kind of there, and both of them have a way to break out. The 4 and 14, you can use the 6 or the 11, depending on which route you go. Let's see what she chooses. She's got a good opener on both. She could either use the 5 or the 15. She's electing to play the 15. I think that is the right play for me personally. All right, she's drawn the ball nicely back. Just enough to give her a good angle on the 13. She knew that if she overdrew it, though, and kind of hooked herself on the 13, she'd have the 12 as a backup. Very well thought out.
All right. And I'm back, and I'm just taking a look here, Sean.
Yeah.
So both these ladies, obviously this is a B-side matchup, so this is fighting for their tournament life.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like Kate lost in the first round to Ayala Soledad, 7-3, which is a very strong competitor. And it looks like Loree John lost to Yuki Hiraguchi, who is set to face Christina Tkach tomorrow at 1 p.m. So very tough draw for these two ladies. Just noticed in the chat while we were watching that last rack, a lot of players talking about how strong the field is here, and that's something that can't be understated. This is a 64 player invite, 64 of the best women in the world, and the field is very strong. We've seen some rundowns where players are just absolutely shooting phenomenal. Um, Cheska shot great yesterday. Christina in a hill thriller shot great. A couple upsets too. Jordan Helfrey taking out Bean Hung. And there's still so much pool to go. Oh no.
I can't fault her for shooting the 10 there, but I think she would have been better served shooting the 11 and taking care of the 14. The 10 was a little bit of an issue, but the 14 was a bigger issue, and I felt like she had the perfect angle there to take care of it. But as you've said many times, we're not the ones at the table, so they're seeing things in a different way. That is going to spell a little bit of trouble. I'll tell you a shot that I really like here is if she doesn't have anything offensive that she likes, which I don't really see anything, she might take on this bank, which is what she's doing. But she could have played the 3 into the 5 to pot the 10 and just rolled the cue ball all the way up, either on top of, or it could have even leaked behind the 2. But instead, she just knocks down the bank. Because why not? She's called the corner pocket. Is she trying to cut this? All right, Loree John's got a chance here to run out to pull back within 1 game of the lead. Obviously, the 11 is going to be the starter ball. It's just a matter of what kind of angle can she manufacture on the 9 to get her over into the 14, the 4 and the 14. All right, I suppose we're going to see her kind of yank this ball over. She's actually on a really nice line to do it. Oh no. She really wanted to catch the 4-ball full there. I think we're going to see her attack the bank because there's really not a safety option. The only safety that she could maybe get is putting the cue ball exactly back where it is now.
And just to confirm, this bank doesn't go on the side, so you're talking about a cross bank to the corner, correct? Or does it go on the side?
The 4-ball might actually have it. I don't know. I think it might go into the side. I think it might slide a little bit. If you hit it dead straight on a little bit on the slower side with outside English, I think it would slide, but apparently not because she elected to play it in the corner. She got the cue ball around about where I was talking.
Yeah, she might have come out okay here. I mean, there's still a shot on, a couple shots on, but it could have been a lot worse for her.
I mean, we've already seen Katarina. She is not afraid to cut really thin at a ball. If the scratch is avoidable on the 6 ball, which with how thin she's hitting it, I think it would be. We might see her take that on. If not, we might see her just kind of bunt the 6 ball over and leave the cue ball down here on the end rail by this bottom left-hand corner pocket. Oh, she actually swung at the bank. She was trying to use the 8 ball as cover. Not quite sure if she got there or not. It doesn't appear so on the monitor, but I think Loree John's got all of the ball.
When she's made a really good shot there. Needs to roll just a little bit more for an easy shot.
Yeah, she's going to have a really thin cut no matter which way she goes. It looks like she's looking at the corner. This way is obviously a little bit more controlled as opposed to back cutting it into the side. The side pocket does normally play a little bit bigger from here, but a player of her caliber shouldn't have any trouble making this ball. And just like that.
Very good showing for both of these ladies. Two great players. And you can't understate that enough. The field here is tough.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's the toughest field there is for a women's tournament. I mean, I've never seen a field tougher. And I mean, I know people are going to say, well, there's 500 and 540 Fargos. Well, come watch these ladies play. They don't play like it. I mean, a lot of them have been playing since they were younger, and they established a Fargo, and now they've started to grow their game and take it as serious as they are, and their game's just improved. Ashley Rice is one of those examples. I mean, first time I met her at Rail Yard for the WPBA event that we ran alongside Napa, it was, I mean, watching her fundamentals, she might have some of the best fundamentals of any women's player in the world. She's a 560 Fargo, I think, somewhere in that region.
I'll tell you, while we're talking about it, just because I have the bracket up and I'm staring at it, here's some interesting information. The only remaining American player in the winner's side of this tournament is Jordan Helfrey.
And she's a 590?
13 years old, from the close to the Kansas City area. I don't know the exact area, and Sarah's going to beat me up for that, so I apologize. But close to the Kansas City area, because I know that's where she plays quite a bit. She's the last remaining American in the winner's side. Sophia Mast, Kennedy Mayman, Savannah Easton, Ashley Benoit, Caroline Powell, LFR, that's Lonnie Fox Raymond, Brianna Miller, Emily Duddy, April Larson, Susan Williams, Angela Janik, Tina Larson, all in the B side.
Yep.
Very, very tough international crowd here at the WPBA World 8-Ball Championship. Now Loree with a chance to tie this ball game up.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That was a unexpected miss. I thought for sure, after seeing some of the shots she's played in previous racks, I thought for sure that one was going to get down.
Yeah, that was rough.
I will say nobody ever likes to miss, but if you are going to miss, playing 8-ball early in the rack is the time to do it. because that just means that there's more traffic on the table for your opponent to have to navigate through. So
Yeah,
there's
it's definitely don't want to leave just one ball on the table and let your opponent just have the ease, right?
right. It's never a good thing to miss, but if you are going to do it, early is best. She might have to eye up this combination. I think the 2 goes, but if it doesn't, I mean, granted, she cuts the ball well, so it looks like she is going to take this cut on the 7. She came up far enough. Been staring at a screen all day, so my eyes start playing tricks on me about the 6-7 hour mark.
She did play that ball pretty well, though.
Yeah, she played it great. She just really didn't want the touch on the 12. This is something you don't see very often. Somebody jumping their own ball. That's how confident she is with the jump cue. She is willing to jump her own ball and say, "All right, I got it. It's good." Oh, wow.
And both the jump shots she attempted before that were just absolutely immaculate. That one a little bit easier, and I think she didn't quite take as much time and may have rushed it just a little bit.
I will say this, though. She missed it well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Loree John's real only option is the bank. If you play I don't know if she's going to go all out to make it or if she's going to play at pocket speed. Me personally, I'd play at pocket speed. The 6 and the 1 are a little bit tougher.
Well, she made the ball, and now she's moved the only other ball that she had to shoot at down into a weird spot. She can't take on the 9, the 10, or the 15 here, so she's gonna have to take on the 12, which it's not a super hard shot, but it's just the position that it's in. It's gonna make things awkward.
I think the thing that's going to make this shot hard is you have to play it with an inside ball. Otherwise, you're going to float up table and make your next shot harder. And you're going to be cutting at a ball, so you might move some of your stuff around and make it a little bit tougher. So she played that one with an inside ball. I don't think she's quite got there. She hasn't. We might see her pull out the old short stick.
I'm not. Does Loree jump? I'm not sure I've ever seen her take on a jump shot.
I haven't either, but if she is, now's the time.
Oh no, I think she's gonna play safe here.
Yeah, she's gonna grab her extension. But I'm just
So if
curious,
she can
what's
get
the
the cue
safe?
ball, well, if you can get the cue ball wedged up against the 15, I don't think that's the shot she's doing. She's gonna cut this ball in the bottom left.
She is cutting it. She is a straight pull player, so
Her cue ball should go straight into the 10 ball there. It's gonna open that
oh
up.
man,
That's a good shot.
it was a good shot. It had a little bit of risk. If it would have caught that 6 ball weird, she could have got wedged behind the 1, but she's done really well with it. All right, now all you gotta do is float this ball in. You don't have to worry about punching over for the 15. You're pretty straight in, so you can just kind of float down. It's kind of a feel thing, though. If you want to punch over, you absolutely can. You don't really have to worry about the 8 ball hooking you.
Ooh,
Used all the pocket on that one.
yeah. That one could have gone real bad. And what do you do here? Do you punch this forward and come 2 rails out, or do you just shoot the 8 in the side?
I'm probably shooting the 8 in the side personally, but it looks like she's gearing up to go 2 rails.
Oh, she went 1
She's
rail.
50-yard line.
Oh no. And I don't know if you saw that, but right there in the center of the table, that cue ball just kind of settled, which can make this next shot very, very, very tough.
Yeah, I think she's going to be okay. She just kind of, I think she has to drag out of this a little bit. No, she's going to play with a high ball.
Just got to watch the 8 ball, the travel. Could get a kick or something nasty happening here. Good shot. And there it is, tied up. Sean, we got a game on our
We
hands.
do have a match. At the beginning, it looked like Katarina was going to run away with it, but Loree John said, hold up, I'm here, and I'm going to play.
Yeah, I like that. This is getting to be very interesting.
Yeah, it went from 5-0 to a race to 2 real quick, didn't it?
Yeah, pretty wild. Pretty wild.
All right. Got a battle of the Canadians on our hand. Veronique Menard leading Joanne Ashton 5-4. Elise Q has come back a little bit to make it 4-3 against Olivia Chang. Chichiro Kawahara up 6-2 on Ashley Rice. Lena Primus up 3-1 on Sarah Miller.
It's a big one there.
Yep.
And let's just take a look at this, because I know we have some more matches coming up right after this. It's going to be our 4 o'clock round, which, assuming that this match ends in the next 20 minutes, it will start in about 20 minutes. But it looks like we have some really big matches coming up. Brianna Miller and Emily Duddy playing on table 8. Our table 2 feature table is going to be Naomi Williams and Sakura Muramatsu. Our table 1 feature table, that's right here. That's Kaylee McIntosh and Janet Atwell. We also have Susan Williams and Sarah Roca, as well as Angela Janik and Tina Larson, all matching up in this 4 o'clock round. So, a couple really good matches to keep an eye on.
All right. This is a beautiful break. And if I'm Loree John, personally, because I know I'm this way, I don't expect to come to this table. If I do, I count myself very fortunate and very blessed, especially with how well Katarina has been shooting. She's got options. She can choose either one she wants. It's whichever one she's more comfortable with. The only problem ball that I see is the 6 and the 13. The 13 does go down here in the bottom left, and so does the 6. Both of these players play good enough positional shots that they have no problem getting to it. Kate has elected to take the solids. Let's see how much urgency she plays with to take care of the 6. The 6 does cut in the bottom right-hand corner, too. She's going to go ahead and take care of it now, though.
Smartest thing you can do in 8-ball. Take care of her problems early.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you there, Steven. Beautiful positional shot for the 7 next. Everything kind of lays out perfect. I mean, it's 7 to the 1, 1 to the 4 or the 2, and then the 2 or the 4 lead to the other. So, I mean, there's no issues whatsoever. All you got to do is stay in line. You don't have to try and force the issue. I think you'll see her play the 7, the 1, the 2, and then the 4. Roll forward a little bit to take the 2 up in the top left corner. If you end up rolling too far, then you can always take the 4 ball next. And she's on the right side of the one where she is traveling away from it instead of keeping the angle tight. Instead, she's going to go ahead and take the 4 now. That was the only problem I saw with it. I didn't quite like that particular part of the pattern. I thought if she took the
Yeah.
1 there, there was no trouble at all whatsoever with her getting shape on the next ball.
Well, now we're looking at a situation where, once again, she feels comfortable with the jump cue, but this is a big jump to take on. You're trying to cut this 2 ball into the side pocket that's probably only got about 3/4 to a half a pocket. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't necessarily hate taking on the 4, but you had to make sure that you hit it with a good enough pace to get all the way back down. She's gotten kind of fortunate. The only ball she's really left for Loree John's got 2 options. She's got the 15 or the 11, and it's whichever one she's more comfortable with. I think she can see the entire 11. If she can, I think that's the one that she'll take. If not, she'll play the 15 and come around 1 rail and probably play either the 14 or the 11 in that left-hand top corner pocket.
Yeah, for me personally, I definitely like shooting the 11. It allows me to hit the ball with a little bit more pace. I don't I don't like trying to drag this ball with that little bit of it's almost like a stun or a kill. Because your pace has to be so good. I'm scared to death of that shot, Sean. She played it very well, though.
Yes, she has. I think she's got a pretty good angle here to kind of move over to the middle left of the table for the 10 next. Maybe she can hit the ball full enough to where she can take care of the 11 now, though. That's the thing about 8-ball, in my opinion. I think you always have to have a backup plan, and with the pattern that Katarina chose, instead of playing the 1 and choosing to play the 4 right then and there was really no backup plan. You either got shape or you didn't.
Yeah, and that's really what it is, right? 8-ball is a game where you have options, and you should always leave yourself options unless you're just down to your last ball in the 8-ball.
Yeah.
And when you take options away when they're on the table, it can really bite you in the butt. And I think that's what's happened here is that a lot of the time she's gotten to the table, she's kind of taken her options away. She's forcing herself to go a certain direction or go a certain way. And it's made things just a little bit tougher. And to Loree's credit, she's really come back and played strong. I can't put it all on I hate this term, but I guess the wheels falling off a little bit for Kate.
I mean, I don't necessarily like the term either, but I don't really know any other way to describe it. I mean,
Yeah.
the decision making at the beginning of the match is completely different than what we're seeing now. And I mean, I'll never bash on a player. I mean, they're the ones down there on the table. They see it differently than we do. It just seems like there have been a couple instances where she's had a certain option that is almost more guaranteed, and she's chosen to go a more dangerous route to take a shot on that's a little bit tougher, but will make the run out easier if she gets shape.
Yeah, and it's kind of been of a flip-flop because Loree, it seemed like, was doing that earlier. Um, in fact, I feel like if you rewind the stream, you'll hear me talk about how Loree was getting down to her last ball a couple times and just really hurting herself. But now it's gone the other way.
Absolutely. From
And there it
5-0
is.
down to 6-5 up is Loree John.
Wow.
One rack away and breaking for the win. What a comeback.
And they tell you not to use that word, but I mean, that's definitely what it has been so far. Wow. We got a match on our hands. We saw this same situation with Christina Tkach in her first round yesterday against Elise Q.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm honestly just really impressed at the mental fortitude that Loree John has showed because whenever I mean, I looked at the time whenever Katarina went up 5-0 and it was almost an hour ago to the dot. It was like 2:45, 2:46, somewhere in there. And Loree John's done nothing but battle ever since. I mean, she, to her credit, she's just fought the entire way through, capitalized on every one of Kate's mistakes.
And look here, she'll be breaking. Now, something really important here. If Kate happens to win this rack, she will have the break hill. And if they go hill, both players will receive two 40-second extensions. And look at this. It's the worst time in the world to have a dry break for Loree John.
Yeah,
And this,
everything's out in the open. I kind of like stripes again.
yeah, I definitely like the stripes. I feel like if you can get a decent angle on the 10, you have a straight in shot for the 15 that plays for the 8 in the bottom left. So, that being said, take out these balls at the top, the 9, 11, 12, 14, 13. Leave yourself a good shot on the 10, you win the rack.
Absolutely. All right.
Uh,
I kind of like playing the 12 here.
Yeah, I feel like you can just pinch that ball over and use that to get shape on the 14, which really is kind of your toughest ball because it's just in the middle of the table up there. She's going to bump it, and that's okay because she has a backup plan. It's what we talked about earlier. You got to have a backup plan.
Yeah, she has what my favorite term in the game of 8-ball is. It's a bailout ball. It's like,
Yep.
okay, I didn't quite get exactly where I wanted to, but I've got this ball hanging in a pocket no matter what that I can always go back to. I wouldn't be surprised to see her draw all the way, yep, all the way down for the 10 ball next. Actually, I kind of like playing the 14 now. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, stop shot.
I might roll forward a little bit just because I don't want to risk bumping into the 2 off of the 13.
Yeah, I think you're right there. That's a good call. So play the 14, roll forward just a smidge. Play the 13, then you have the 10 and the 15. She's going to go a little far here, but she'll be able to bump off the 5 on the pro side of it, which sends her towards the 10 ball rather than away.
Yeah, and
You don't want to.
it could even tie up the 5 and the 1.
Yeah, the only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to bump it too hard, right? You don't want to make it to where it gets in the way of things.
I
I
think
don't think she's going to bump at all. She's going to pull straight out of it.
nice shot there, nice control. All right, now you just play this ball with a touch of inside, pocket speed. Leave yourself dead even, maybe a little bit above the 15. You don't want to be too far below it. You'd like to be able to just punch the 15 in that bottom right-hand corner and go up for the 8. Almost like directly in between where the 1 and the 8 are. That's kind of the sweet spot that you're looking to go to.
Yeah, I like that. Also, Sean, you owe CJ Wiley 17 cents.
What did
Can't
I
say
do?
You said touch of inside.
Oh, touch of inside. Yeah, okay. CJ, send me your Venmo.
That's sorry guys. It's been a long day so far. I'm having fun, but us pool players, we don't really know what AM is. I always just thought it was the other side of the radio that nobody listens to.
Right.
But apparently it's called morning, and as a pool player, I am not used to it.
All right, so the
Stunt.
way that she played that tells me that the 8 did not go by the 6 in the side pocket. She came over and took a look at it. This is a ball that you just have to bear down and make. If you need to, introduce a little bit of low to drag it out of that side pocket scratch. That's what she's doing.
And don't drag too much. We saw her drag a ball earlier which would have put her on the hill, and she drew it too much and scratched. But there it is. It is hill. And this is a big game. This is for their tournament life. This is to stay alive for the opportunity to call yourself the world 8-ball champion. And we're down to one rack for one of these ladies. There you see a handshake, a show of respect.
I love the sportsmanship that this game offers, especially at high levels like this.
There's very few players that really get, I guess, angry, upset, annoyed, or even as far as going as disrespectful. Obviously, there's one here, one there. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the majority at the high level. Always a show of respect and class. And that's what we're getting here. Just a few notes for this hill. Once again, like we said, both players will receive 2 40-second extensions. It will be Kate's break. And the 40-second shot clock will be active on every shot except for directly after the break, where that shot clock is going to be bumped up just a little bit to give players time to analyze the table at 60 seconds.
All right, let's see what she's got. See her collecting herself. She's a little bit off camera, but took a deep breath in while she was chalking up her break cue.
Yeah, nice big deep breath.
Just look at the intensity on her face when she gets down. She's approaching this rack with everything she has.
Just need to make sure that you don't overpower the break. Sometimes it's hill, the pressure's on, your tournament life is on the line, and you're like, okay, I got to get a good break, and then you try to break so well that you don't break well at all.
Watch out, cue ball.
Got a tough kiss, but here's the thing. She's made a ball, and this is... I think if I'm going to pick one to like here, or at the very least, if I had ball in hand, I would 100% take the solids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And actually, she's got a good opening shot, I believe. I think she can see enough of the 4-ball to make it.
Yeah, if she can see the 4-ball, that's 100% what I would take.
Actually, I know for a fact she can. I'm looking at the table from up here in the booth. I know she can see enough of it.
So she can slide right up to the 7-ball.
Yeah, it's almost dead straight in. She might draw back for the 5 instead, but I mean, she could go multiple different ways. Oh wow.
I don't know if she had enough. But now this changes things. So the position of the 5, the position of the 4, this changes everything. I like the stripes now.
Quick to change your mind.
Yeah, it's crazy how one ball, or well, 2 balls moving can change what you like on the table. It is still an open table, and I think the stripes are definitely the play here. The toughest shot is going to be the 12-ball, and I think the 9-ball allows you to get shape on the 12 to the side pocket on the right side. So
it does. It's just going to be a touchy shot. She's still going with solids, though. Looks like she's eyeing up the 2.
The only issue I'm having here with those solids is there's really only one good pocket for the 5, but the bigger issue for me is just connecting everything. The 3-ball's in a weird spot, and I'm trying to see where you can connect the 3-ball to. If the 2 is gone, I guess you can shoot the 3 up to the top right. She's played that well. There's no way in the world that I can say that it's not the right play if she gets out here,
I
but
think
I am interested to see her connections.
I think the 7 ball leads to the 5 down here in this bottom right-hand corner.
If
We're
she
about
gets
to
straight
find
on it.
out.
Yeah, so 7 to the 5, and then what are we looking at for the 5? She's gonna roll forward and shoot the 6 in the bottom left.
Either the 6 in the bottom left or the 3 all the way up table. I mean, just kind of depends. If there's an easy way to get to the 3, she'll leave it alone, but if the 5 leads her to the 3, then that might be the play.
Yeah, it's this connection right here. It's this
I
7.
think she's too low on
The,
it.
the 7's easy. It's the connection from the 5, the 6, the 3, and the 4, working that square right there because they're literally in a square, and the 8 ball's kind of in the middle of them. Um,
If the
this
12
is
ball wasn't where it was, I would say this is a relatively easy run out.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's
The
just the 12 and the 8 are really causing issues.
Yeah, the 12's the biggest ball on the table because it cuts off a part of your lane for the 3. All right,
Okay,
so
so she's stunned over for the 4.
she's gonna play for the 4. She's probably gonna roll up just a hair and then cut the 3. But the problem is, I don't know how she's gonna hold her cue ball for shape on the 6 from there.
The only option I can see is she's going to play it with a little bit of outside and try and run into the 9 ball, which is risky.
Yeah, if you overrun it, you might get hooked behind the 8.
And that's what she did. She wanted to roll up. Okay, so it's all going to hinge on this. And to Lori John's credit, she's made a really, really good run so far. But this is it. You have to run into the 9 ball, and you have to get your speed right. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
She might be running into the with how thin she's hitting it, she might be running into the 6.
I don't know unless she draws out into it, but we've seen just a few racks ago she did a very similar shot like that, and she actually moved the 8 ball to an unmakeable spot. And again, her pre-shot, it looks like she's really powering up, but we know she's not. Yeah, that's the tough part, and it's so difficult because all you got to do is run into that 9 ball square, but if you don't and you clip just the edge, you're setting yourself up table like she did. And now she's got a tough shot. Not only that, but if she makes it, if she cuts the 6 ball to the bottom right-hand corner, she's not going to have a pocket for the 8 ball.
Yeah, I think on that shot, worst case scenario was either missing the 9 or hitting the top side of the 9. I think if she introduced any more right or maybe even a touch of bottom, I think she would have been a little bit more stable when it came to hitting the 9.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I agree with you.
so let's see. I mean,
She's
yeah,
used her second extension here, so she's given herself plenty of time.
I mean, is she trying to play this up, down, and back up?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's
All right.
all right. So, Kate, you had a huge lead. Your opponent's made a good comeback, and now she's left you a table. Well, all you got to do is run out, and you hang on to your tournament life and your chance at a world title.
I think I'm actually starting with the 11, personally.
I talked about this in the last rack. Every shot I would shoot, if it was me at the table, every shot I shoot is going to be with the idea that if I miss, nothing is going to be available for my opponent. So with that being said, I think I would have agreed with you taking the 11, but here I'm taking the 13 and I'm pulling my cue ball off that left side rail about 4 inches to take the 11 in the side pocket. the hardest shot on the table is going to be that 12, right?
Yeah, I mean, the 10 leads to the 12. The 12 does pass in the bottom left-hand corner. I do know that. Oh, wow. All
And
right.
see, just like this, yeah, play everything like it's your last shot, and you know your opponent's coming to the table. Don't give them anything. Force them to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see the furniture get rearranged here, but back to the opening shot. I mean, she took the 14. I thought if she rolled forward off the 11 a little bit, she still would have had the 6 ball blocked by the 8 and the 12, and then she could have played the 15 in the same pocket as she played the 14. And that would have taken care of all the balls up table, and then you just got to play a little tic-tac-toe all the way around. It's worked out for her. We'll see what Miss Loree John has in store, but it's kind of hard to get safe whenever your opponent has a ball literally hanging in the pocket like she does. Oh,
Oh
wow.
my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh wow. Well, that was
What an
that went
effort.
from that went from oh my gosh, she's gonna make the ball to oh my gosh, she scratched and given her opponent ball in hand on the hill.
All right,
That's insane.
so let's see. For me, the pattern is 11, 15, 9, 10, 12, 8. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, I'm definitely starting with the 11, no matter what. From there, it's going to come down to personal preference. I would like to get the 12 ball out of that area early because I don't want to end up in the one position where I can't make a ball.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'm taking the 11 and moving forward for the 12. After that, it's literally what can I see that leaves me a shot.
All right, just need to be smooth with this. She's got a little bit of angle to work with. She can either go up for the 9 or the 10.
Yeah, I like her playing the 10 here because now she can just soft drag to the side rail, shoot the 15, shoot the 9, and she's got an easy shot on the 8 ball, and her cue ball is never going to threaten leaving Loree John a shot if she were to miss. For anybody
Beautiful
asking,
execution.
for anybody asking, Kate is from Poland, one of several top-notch Polish players, not only in this field but across the entire landscape of professional pool.
All right, she's 2 stop shots away from advancing in this inaugural Women's World 8-Ball Championship.
And this is huge, and you got to feel a little bit for Loree. She just she hung her hat on a shot that was going to be really touchy, and I have nothing but respect for the fact that she attempted that, but didn't work out for her. Taking her time, and here it is. Kate Wesolowska has done it. She has beaten Loree John Brown, hill. What an amazing match. Sean, I'm glad I got to do it with you, sir.
Absolutely, my
And
friend. It's been a pleasure, and you know what? We get to do it again.
yeah, we won't be gone for long, guys. Another match coming up. Supposed to start at the 4 o'clock round, so I will stop blabbing. Thanks again for tuning in to the ONEIDA WPBA World 8-Ball Championships. We'll be back soon.